Okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay. So, okay, I'm going to introduce my friend now to you. Welcome everybody to the I guess we're going to call it the show with Laurel Chin, real estate agent in Fairfax, Virginia. And I'm inviting my friend Maria Johnson today, who I grew up with in Coronado, California back in the day. We were a couple of free range kids at the beach, and we belonged to a girls organization together and had a great time. So she has been living in Mira Mesa in San Diego for quite a long time now. And she just has two beautiful children who are now adults, essentially. And she has just had a big change in her life. And so I wanted to tell you, first of all, and I'm sorry, this is a little choppy, but I wanted to tell you, first of all, Maria lost her vision in her 50s. So it was an over a year process. She has a genetic situation that she's going to talk to you about at length, and about how as real estate agents we can help somebody with vision impairment. So I'm going to let Maria take it away. She's just gone through a big change in the last year, and I'll let her tell you about it. Go ahead, Maria.
Well, then, thank you. Thank you so much, Laurel. I appreciate your introduction. There was a lot said there. We have a long history, as you said. The condition I have is called Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, and it's a condition that is passed down genetically. It is hereditary, as the name would say. And what it does, it actually causes the optic nerve to dysfunction and die, causing sudden and severe blindness. And it happened in 2013. Just as I was turning 50, I noticed a little blur in one eye, didn't think much of it. I was busy. I'm a group fitness instructor. I was teaching and running a boot camp. I was, parent to kids, volunteering, all the things we all do. And I ignored this blur and it didn't go away. So long story short, because I went on what I call Maria's medical mystery tour at this point, it took 8 months for many doctors to see me, many doctors to tell me they don't know what's wrong with me, going through massive amounts of tests, blood tests, spinal taps, brain scans, trying to figure it out. And until I actually found my current doctor, who is a neuro-ophthalmologist, who was able to diagnose me with Leber's, or LHON. And it causes not only the vision to go in one eye, but it always goes to the other eye. So I am legally blind. I have no central vision, and my peripheral vision is very grainy and blurry. It leaves me with no depth perception and very little color vision. So that whole process, from what's going on with my vision to you're legally blind, was a matter of 8 months, with pretty much no time to prepare that I was actually going to be blind for the rest of my life. I, besides dealing with that, I, for some reason, decided I'm going to start a blog 3 months after my diagnosis. And I did. I started Girl Gone Blind because, well, I'm a girl gone blind. And I started writing about my unexpected life as someone losing vision at a later age. And I write about what it is like to lose vision at a later age, physically, mentally, emotionally, the good, bad, and the ugly. And I said, but I also hope that my blog helps folks like yourself, Laurel, who are sighted, to understand what it's like for someone to lose vision at a later age unexpectedly. So with that blog out there, it's been shared all over the world. It's opened a ton of doors for me. And I've been riding this whole roller coaster for, 6.5 years now. And, for something so devastating, it has definitely taken me on a path that I never expected to travel, but it has taken me to places I never thought I'd go, good places, brilliant places, and meeting people that are amazing in the blind community. So last year, I got divorced and I had to search for a new place to live. And so that was terrifying for sure. I'd lived in the house I was in for over 25 years. I was very comfortable, but it was time for me to move on. And my kids were moving with me, so I needed to find something to accommodate the three of us. But moreover, I needed something to accommodate me as somebody who was blind, um, and that was going to be suitable for needs that I never even thought I would have to take into consideration. So the first step, Laurel, was going online, because that's what you do. Everyone goes online to look for houses, or you contact a real estate agent, and what do? They send you stuff online. And that proved to be very stressful.
I can imagine. I mean, how in the world are you looking at the photos online?
That's the thing, is that I can't see photos just on a regular screen. I have to actually zoom in so things get very large and magnified for me to be able to even see any kind of lettering or anything in a photo. And even with that, things get, when you blow things up, things get a little fuzzy, you lose that resolution. And my vision is already very fuzzy and grainy.
Right.
So it's always like looking through frosted glass all the time for me. So zooming in, is the best I can get, but it's not going to give me all the details. And that was really, really frustrating. Websites are not accessible, meaning they're not screen reader friendly. I am able to have my computer talk to me and tell me what's on a web page and read things for me. Because visually it's just way too exhausting to try and read one word at a time, bigger than life. So it was difficult. I would have to have my kids look at things for me. Friends were sending me things. They were looking at things for me. But I had to just kind of take the photos with a grain of salt and go, well, it looks like it's a possibility. Mm-hmm. But and then some were just obviously like, no, they were dumps, and I just knew. But some looked, promising. But unless I could get in there, touch, feel, all of the above, experience it with my other senses, I wasn't, it was, like I said, it was super stressful.
So as far as your friends, I know you had told me that your friends would describe the pictures for you and whatnot. And then I was thinking, you had talked to me a little bit about something that was surprising to me when we talk about styles of home. So we'll interview a client and we'll talk about what style of home would you like. And for you, I automatically assumed you would go into a condo, and that is not the case. So you chose to go into a single family dwelling for reasons that I'll let you talk about. And if you would, after you talk about your choice of sort of area and style of home, maybe you can go into some of the features and what is important to you as a vision impaired person that may not really seem obvious to those of us who are sighted.
Okay. You're absolutely right. I even thought at first, condo, townhome, this will be great, small space, manageable, cozy. Well, if you step back and look at the whole picture, even as sighted folks, because, I can speak to being sighted, getting into a condo or a townhome complex sometimes can be tricky. You can have gates, gate codes. You can also get very lost in the maze of a particular property. And the last thing I needed was having to maneuver and navigate around a maze, for lack of a better word, to find my condominium or my townhome, let alone tell other people how to find me. I use Lyft and Uber a lot, and trying to give them gate codes, trying to describe, I'm, you go down on the second right, and then you're going to make a left, and on the condo, on the last one on the right, it just gets too much. And I've heard a lot of, horror stories about, those kind of situations ending up in total disaster. So I knew after actually looking at a few of them, I just wasn't comfortable. The other thing about condos and townhomes is that I felt that a lot of them, I wanted to feel a little more secure. And sometimes those ground floors have open balconies and patios. And I just didn't feel as safe as I thought I could be. And that was, again, all in my mind at the time. I was kind of under a little duress, trying to look for a place to live. So I made a decision early on. I need a home. I want a home with a street address. No, there's no confusion, and it would be easy for my friends, family, rideshare to find me.
Right.
And it would be easy for me to describe to folks where I live because it's one address, one street, one house.
I love that. I love that. So as an agent, if somebody were set on a condo and they were vision impaired, it would be important for the agent to preview where in the community that condo is and to make sure it's sort of like enter the neighborhood and the condo itself and turn right, and it's the first building on the left. It would have to be that kind of situation.
Yes, I agree.
mean,
It needs to be simple.
Yes.
It needs to be simple. Now, I'm going to preface all of this, just at the beginning. This is all my personal opinion by my own experience,
Right.
but I think the simpler and easier, the better. Not to say I don't have tons of blind friends that live in condos, for sure.
Right.
And I'm sure when if you find a place in a condominium complex or an apartment complex, and I'm sure you get very used to like where to walk and all that kind of thing, but it's really important to be available because you do have to get help with transportation.
Absolutely. So when you were looking at the units, you had some interesting things to say about the features within the building, within the actually exterior features, interior features, and contrast, which was very interesting to me. And I'd love for you to go into that.
Absolutely. Some of the, condos in particular that I was looking at, and some of the homes too, would have these super beautiful modern white kitchens and with no contrast whatsoever. My particular level of vision allows me to see contrast. Contrast is my friend. I love, love, love contrast. And one particular condo I went into, I really loved it, but the kitchen was just, cabinets were white, the countertops were white, the appliances were white. Laurel, it was just, everything just melted into each other.
Yeah.
So what that taught me was that I needed to find a place that had more contrast, not only in the kitchen, but maybe in the bathrooms would be a plus.
Right.
And, maybe darker countertops, maybe stainless or, a contrasting color, white or black, compared to the rest of the kitchen. Appliances, maybe cabinets that were dark wood with lighter countertops. You get the idea. But contrast, throughout a home is very valuable for me, for sure.
And you had talked about exteriorly the deck stairs, which was interesting to me as well.
Yeah. Stairs that can either, as you go up a walkway and there's sometimes a stair or two to get up onto the front porch, or there are stairs that may lead down to a sunken, patio, or stairs that lead up to a deck of sorts. And a lot of times these stairs are brick or cement or wood. And one home I went to in particular had a gorgeous deck out in the back, but it was all white. And it was cement and then the white steps. So as I described, I have no depth perception. So stairs already just look flat to me. So I need that perception, there. I need that contrast. So hence why they have white stripes and yellow stripes on steps.
Yes.
The best, let me tell you. So that helps me to know where the steps are. Okay. So here I have this beautiful home. I'm contemplating it, but I get to the backyard and I'm like, the deck. I had a lot of trouble going up. There's probably 5 steps to get up to this deck. It was very difficult for me to manage those steps, initially, of course, but I thought, not thrilled at all. I mean, there's other things I wasn't thrilled with, but, not thrilled. And same goes for steps that lead up to a front porch. If there's cement, you got to take that into consideration, but you also in the back of your mind are thinking, if this is the home for me, how am I going to make that more accessible? But we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah. So, in terms of accessibility and stairs, that leads me to the question of how are agents best? You know, you're being photobombed. It's so funny. Your cat is.
I'm so, I can't, you know what? He won't leave the room. He
I
won't.
love it. No, I love it. So,
It's Murphy. It's
I love
Murphy.
Murphy. Murphy, you're doing a great job.
He's very contrasty.
Yeah, he's very contrasting. He is. So, so you were talking about agents, and so as an agent, I know that I would approach a client with vision impairment, especially now, and I would ask sort of, what do you need from me by way of description? Do you want a lot? How detailed exactly? Or do you want to bring a friend with you because that friend is better able to speak your language, so to speak? And as
Mhm.
far as guiding, so say if I meet you at a property, how do I approach you? How do I speak to you about what you want from me? And how do I help you?
All right, that's great questions, Laurel. So first of all, obviously you've already had a conversation with your client, sighted or blind, about what they want in a home, and what they don't want in a home. Again, no white wooden stairs,
Yeah,
right?
no white ones.
No
Yeah,
white wooden stairs. And we didn't even touch about stairs inside, but that's a whole nother, issue. But I really, really believe, and I had to learn pretty quickly, and it was hard to speak up for myself. I have to be my own advocate
right,
and then ask for what I need. And that is very difficult for people, on a good day.
right,
So it is up to, I believe, the client, whatever their disability is, hearing impairment, vision impairment, whatever is their disability, they need to speak up and they need to be very clear about what they need, because you may be with an agent who absolutely has no idea,
right,
and no fault to their own. They just haven't run into the situation.
right.
So I personally, I need all the details. I want to know everything that's going on, because I figure you can always tell them to, I don't need that much information, rather than, you need to tell me more. You need to tell me more. I'd rather get more and take it down a notch. That's just me.
Mhm.
So upon arrival at a property, you should have that conversation with your agent that when we go into a house, I would like a lot of detail about every room. I need directional cues, meaning we're walking in and we would be going straight, and in front of it, we're going right into a living room,
Right,
and then, again, you get the idea. It's directional,
right,
and describing, either if there's describing the room to the best of the agent's ability.
right,
Um, you also can offer an elbow. Now, not everyone is going to take an elbow, but an elbow is a way to use another person as a guide. And all you do is you say, "Can I offer you my elbow?" A blind person or visually impaired person is going to know what that means. And
Mhm.
that means that I have the option of saying yes or no, of grabbing your arm right above the elbow and having you guide me into the home and around the home.
Right. And we're
Now,
supposed to hold that close to our body, correct?
yes, you
Okay.
hold it close to your body and you're not swinging it around. And, for some folks it feels very awkward, but it's the proper etiquette, if you will, to offer that up. Again, they may say yes, they may say no. I
Right.
would typically say yes, because
Okay.
I know it's going to make the experience better for me,
Right.
and I really don't want to run into a wall.
Right.
That's just me. That's
Yeah.
just me.
I mean, just you.
Just me.
I think as Asians too is interesting because for me, I tend to describe a home on the way to the home. I've previewed it and I'm on my way and I'm telling them, 3 or 4 things I'd like them to notice about the house. And then when we get there, which a lot of people who know me will find surprising, I stop talking and I let them look, correct? So for
Yeah.
you, I need to actually verbalize so much that I think for the average buyer it would be annoying, but I need to go through and say, we have a Brady Bunch railing here, it's 1960s open staircase, or whatever it happens to be. I need to be
Yes.
very specific with you.
Yes,
Yep,
absolutely. And I think for now, let's cut real here super quick, and let's just note level of blindness. Okay, when
right,
people hear blind, most people, because I run into this, go, oh, you can't see at all. You
Right.
see black, you see nothing. And that's just not true.
Mhm.
Most people have some sort of usable vision or light perception, meaning they can tell if a light's on or off.
Right.
Um, so you can go anywhere from people who are visually impaired and can use glasses to correct their vision, but without glasses, the vision is very poor, but it's
Right.
correctable. And
Okay.
then you go all the way to full 100% blind, can't see a thing. And
Right.
there's so much in between. So I'm in that weird middle gray area where I do have that peripheral vision, although not good. I've learned to use it to maximize what I can see,
Right.
although not good, as I said. So somebody who is 100% blind, you're really going to need to give them you're going to paint the picture.
Yes.
You have to paint the picture. They have no picture. They
Right.
have no sense of what's where, how big a room is. I mean, you might even have to go, this room is, 10 by 10. This room is, 20 by 10, whatever it is. It's oblong, it's rectangle. And again, that's if they know what those terms mean, because keep in mind, some people are born blind and they don't know what a rectangle is. They don't know what a open stair, what do you mean Brady Bunch railing? They've never seen Brady Bunch. They don't know what a railing is. So there is a lot to keep in mind as far as level of blindness. Now, I prefer, I don't mind getting a few highlights,
Right.
but I like to be in the room, and with the vision that I have, I will take what you are saying and what I can feel and sense in the room, and I put that together to make my picture.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And, and then once you're done with the room, say, we're going to move on. I'm sure you say that to other clients. We're going to move on. So would you like, if I've let go of your elbow, would you like my elbow again? Probably for me, yes. And
Right.
say, okay, we're going to make a left here down a hallway.
Right.
And now we're going to turn right, and then you stop. We're going to turn right into the first bedroom. Okay,
Right.
great. I know we're going to turn right first, and then you go on, continue with your description.
Right.
So, personally, this is just from, what I would like. You can always knock down the description. You can always say like, oh, okay, I've got this. Let's move on. Again, you have to speak up for yourself,
Right.
on what you need.
If you have the agreement with your agent beforehand that I'm going to tell you to stop it, I'm getting overwhelmed with information. And I think
Yes.
one thing we had talked about as well, and I don't know if you've made changes to your current rental, but that agents might want to advocate for their clients with landlords in terms of, hey, is it okay for the tenant, after, of course, everything is maybe agreed to, but can we change knobs and whatnot to add contrast so that you're
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
and it's
I
more.
mean, I don't know if landlords are going to be super open to that.
I think you
But
put it back, but
yeah, if you put it back, and I know a lot of people paint rooms and then they repaint them,
right,
kind of a thing,
right.
for sure. And, is it something you have to let a landlord know?
Maybe not. I mean,
Not.
it's just a matter of if you're not doing damage and you could return it to the original state. And if
Yes.
you've done a nice job, they might want you to keep it. So,
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And that is one thing to consider as we're walking through a home, Laurel. I also want to keep in mind, what can I do in this home to make it more accessible for me if I'm absolutely loving it? I'm like, oh, I love the layout. I love everything about it.
Mhm.
But there's a few things that I would do to make it more accessible and more manageable and better for me to my own visual impairment.
Right. And I think through most, I don't know for other states, but for ours, if you adjust for people who have barriers, you just have to put it back. So
Yeah.
people in
Yeah.
a wheelchair that need a little bit more room might take off door jambs and different things like that. And as long as they put it back, it's okay.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
have
Yeah,
to
you're
return to
right.
the original state, and usually they have funds for that as well.
Oh, okay.
So this has been so informative, Maria, and I think we're coming close to the end of our half hour. And I just wanted to give you a moment to talk about what's in your future. Where are you headed and where are you up to?
Well, this has been great, Laurel, and we could definitely go on a whole nother 30 minutes, and maybe we will someday. I hope so, because I think this is great. Um, I've got a lot of things in the works. I have some really great opportunities coming up that I can talk about. some I can't.
Okay.
But I've got some great engagements coming up. And I'm always looking to, I'm always looking to, take those next opportunities, find my brilliance. And I do that by writing my blog, which you can find at girlgoneblind.com. Everyone, of course, can find me on social media at Facebook and Instagram at Girl Gone Blind, Twitter at girl_gone_blind, and on LinkedIn at Maria Johnson, Girl Gone Blind.
I'll put
You
all
can
your
call.
links in the notes on YouTube too. So
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. And the
Mhm.
one thing that we didn't mention, Laurel, is that I actually wrote a blog about house hunting blind.
Oh,
So we should put that link up too. I wrote a blog after I found the home that I'm in and went through my whole experience. I did write a blog called um, Things to Keep in Mind While House Hunting Blind.
I love that.
And yeah, I'm really into the rhymey
There you
stuff.
go. Pithy type
So
work.
yeah, I'm a writer, so there you go. But you can put that link down too, and that'll give you even some more, background on, how I came to, to be in my first rental after many, many years of owning a home. And so I would, if anybody wants to contact me, they can contact me through any of the platforms that I just suggested. And Laurel, I just really, really want to thank you for connecting back with me and collaborating on what I think is super informative, and never would have thought about this. And I think you're onto something really, really great here.
Oh, thank you. Well, great. And we'll talk again soon.
All right. Bye, Laurel.
Let me stop recording.